Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here to recap my big fat fabulous life. This is episode 9 entitled Fat Lips. I don't think this is going to be a very long video because not a lot happened. It was really just their friends and family, or really Whitney, getting ready and prepared for the family vacation trip to Maine, and Whitney just making the rounds, letting everybody know that she has invited the Frenchman. Whether they like it or not, she is just going to foist him on this trip, and they're just all going to have to deal with it. We're all going to have to deal with it. A few other things happen, so we'll get that out of the way first. Let's jump into the review. So if you recall, we last left off with Whitney having done the egg retrieval procedure, and it left her sore and in pain. And this review was out of order as usual. So a little while later, when she's feeling better, she goes to the gym to meet up with Jessica to get a little workout in, fill her in on, guess what, I invited the Frenchman to the family friends trip. And Jessica's like, oh wow, okay. I mean, everybody's reaction when Whitney tells them is kind of just like surprised and confused, but you know, Jessica tells her, okay, well, that could be really good or really bad. I mean, you've never met him, but, you know, I hope it goes well. And Whitney's like, yeah, me too. We'll see. But really, she's mainly there to fill Jessica in on what's going on with the No BS Active app. You know, it is in motion. It's happening. And it's about to go live on the site, the app site, what you call it, in 3 months. So Whitney has done the math and calculated that when she gets back from her trip, her and Jessica are going to have to make 4 videos every day for the next 3 months, because they need like 75 hours worth of new content. I mean, I thought that they could just kind of pull from their backlog library, but no, I mean, it makes sense. You have, you know, new customers paying, you want to give fresh new videos. So that's good, but it's a lot. Like, both Jessica and Whitney are overwhelmed with the thought of like how much work they're going to have to do in the next 3 months. And I was kind of wondering, well, where does that leave time for Whitney to study, you know, and devote herself 100% to, you know, the certification test? Because didn't she tell Will, after the egg retrieval and after my family vacation, I'm just going to throw myself into studying and just that's all I'm going to do? Well, I guess sounds like that's getting backburned a little. Even Jessica says that, you know, she has her everyday career as a certified personal trainer, and this is going to be a balance, but you know, she's obviously up for the challenge. This is a great opportunity that she's not taking for granted. So I guess they're both just going to throw themselves into it when they get back from the trip, and I guess, you know, whatever for the certification training. Another thing that happens is Whitney goes to get her lips done, like filled lip injections. That's where, you know, Fat Lips, the title, comes from. It's funny because this whole season, in her confessional, I thought her lips looked fuller, but I just chalked it up to that awful lipstick, that unfortunate color. It's like that orange sherbet. I just think it's so unflattering on her. I mean, I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at that lipstick, but no, she actually got her lips done, and I could tell they looked fuller to me. I just, you know, I never want to, I think it's rude to like ask people or just assume. My stance on like injections and fillers and cosmetic surgery, like if it's going to make you feel better, go for it. I mean, I would say don't go overboard and go to a reputable place. Don't go to no back alley. But I mean, what does Dolly Parton say? You know, if the barn needs painting, paint it. So I'm all for it. I'm not against it. One point in the episode, Tal and Heather come over to help her pack, and we'll get more into that visit later. But this is when she shares with them that the Frenchman is coming. And so she tells them that. And then later on tells them, oh, by the way, I'm going to go get my lips done. My mom had brought up that she wanted to go get some Botox for some wrinkles, and this just seemed like a good opportunity because she's always sort of been interested and curious about getting her lips done. And hey, she's going on vacation, she's going to meet her man, and it's just all perfect. Her friends, Tal and Heather, they're not unsupportive. You know, they're concerned because they don't want her coming out looking like, you know, crazy duck lip lady. But Tal is more just concerned that, you know, that she's having to like change herself and her looks to like impress a guy. That's sort of like his qualm about it. But you know, Whitney's gonna do what Whitney wants to do. And so she does end up going with her mom to the lip filler place. I don't know what the technical, I mean, it looks like a doctor's office, but don't believe this is a doctor. It could be cosmetic, I don't know. Anyway, Whitney goes first and lays down, and the woman, you know, gives her the first round of, I don't know, CCs of whatever it is, and hands Whitney the mirror like, hey, what do you think? And Whitney loves it. She's like, oh, I love it. They look great. But the woman tells her, well, you know, they're really swollen. They're going to go down a lot. So Whitney says, well, pump me up some more because this is how I want them to look when the swelling goes down. So the woman's like, all right. She fills her up with some more. They look fine. I don't think it looks anything crazy. You know, I've had some friends who have gotten their lips done, and you know, it does go away after about 6 months, but the same thing happened. They got them done and they loved the way they looked when they were kind of like swollen, and then when they went down, they both wanted to go back like the next week and get them done again. And I was like, no, just wait, don't go crazy. You know, I think it can be addictive, so you have to kind of be careful. You know, Babs Bunny, her mom's goes next and gets her lips done, and she's telling them like, I don't want to look like the Joker. Don't make me look like the Joker. See, I guess I'm not there yet. I'm not saying I would never do like any kind of anything, but I don't feel the need to do it now. But if I did, I would worry that I'd come out looking like crazy cat lady. You got to be careful. Like, I just got to be careful, you know. Anyway, Babs gets it done. I mean, it's all very subtle. It's nothing, you know, major. As a matter of fact, funny enough, when they go home, Glenn, you know, Whitney's dad, Babs's husband, and Hunter, you know, Whitney's brother, they come to pick Babs up and they don't even notice. They don't, I don't know if it's just, it was that subtle or if it's just men being sort of like unobservant. It wasn't until Whitney was like, that Hunter was finally like, oh, did you get your lips done? Okay. I mean, it's fine. I mean, good for them. You know, Glenn says that he loves Babs just the way she is, that she looks perfect as is. And that's like, oh, yeah, she got a good one. So that was really, you know, those things that happened. Let's get to the main issue of this episode. Like I said, it's Whitney basically going around telling everybody that the Frenchman is invited on their trip, and you know, she could give a good fuck what anybody thinks or feels. She really didn't give like 1 second's thought of consideration to how anybody might feel. She just invited him and just assumed everybody would be excited and on board, and I guess they have to be. I mean, do they have a choice? I'm sure TLC is paying for this. So anyway, the episode opened with Babs and Hunter going to check in on Whitney. It was either later that day after the procedure or maybe the next day. She was in bed. She wasn't feeling well. You know, she gives them the blow by blow of what happened. You know, I think she just kind of gets a kick out of making people uncomfortable. Like the same thing she did with Will. She's telling her brother Hunter, it was a needle this long in my vajay. And Hunter's like, yeah, I get it. I know what you're trying to do. Yeah. While they're there, Whitney actually calls the doctor and, you know, kind of check in, and the doctor shares. I feel like I'm talking so fast. I need to slow down. The doctor shares that he was able to retrieve 12 eggs. And that's really good because now she has like a 70% chance of having a baby. So great. It all seems to be, you know, working out the way she wants it to. When she hangs up, Hunter asks, okay, that's great news, but who the daddy? Who's the pappy gonna be? And Whitney tells him, well, you know, maybe, hopefully, like the Frenchman. Hunter laughs her off, like, oh, you're kidding. Like, what is that, like in your fantasy land? Like, you haven't even met that guy. And Whitney tells him, well, I mean, not fantasy for much longer because we're actually going to meet. He is going to meet up with us on our family vacation. Yay! And Hunter, much like my reaction in last week's recap, was baffled. Like, you're kidding me, right? Like, and he tells Whitney, so you mean to tell me that our family vacation is now turned into like your meet and greet? And Whitney very quickly gets defensive, you know, oh, why are you being so hateful? Well, Whitney, why are you being so inconsiderate? Like I said, she gave like no thought at all to how anybody would feel. She just, it must be a storyline, but we're going to go with it like it's real. So she's telling Hunter, why are you being so hateful? How come you have a problem with like every guy I bring around? And it's like, well, Whitney, I mean, from what I hear, from what I watched last season with Chase, well, we don't have to speak anymore on that. From what I hear this season, this guy Avi, you know, like the international, like playboy with hoes and all area codes. I shouldn't call them hoes, but you know what I mean? Like maybe you don't have the best judgment. Like what are the guys you're bringing around? Now you're bringing one on a vacation that you haven't even met yourself. And Hunter's telling her like, he's crazy too. Like he agreed to this. Like what's up with him? Like I'm concerned about like where his head is at. And she's telling him like, oh, so you mean to tell me you wouldn't like if a girl invited you? And he's like, no, absolutely. If a girl invited me on vacation and I'd never met her and I was gonna have to meet her whole family and friends, like, yeah, no, I wouldn't go. And she says, well, that's because you're just neurotic. I'm like, no, it's because he has a little bit of sense about him. Like, honestly, I don't know if she's just really blinded by her love. I mean, is she in love with the Frenchman that she's just like nothing else? She can't see anything else but just like them and this trip. And she tells Hunter, you know, well, we've been wanting to meet up and, you know, our schedules are conflicting and he only has 1 week of vacation that just so coincidentally coincides with her family vacation on the show. So, you know, yeah, like, you know, what's the problem? You know, why do you have such a problem with it? You know, if you're going to have this attitude and you're going to have this kind of reaction, like, I'd prefer, like, you don't even speak to him. Like, don't even say a word to him. And Hunter's like, perfect. Sounds like a plan. Mum's the word. You know, at this point, she's just like, get out, leave, like, dismisses him from her house, tells him, like, I'll drive mom home, like, get out of here. And he's like, all right, bye, see ya, have fun. And she's yelling out, like, you better not ruin this for me. And he gets outside and he's telling the camera, like, you know, Whitney, I'm not gonna ruin this for her. She could do that all by herself. She's very stubborn, she's very bullheaded, which in some cases, you know, is good in business and getting, you know, ahead. And, but in relationships, like, you know, she moves way too fast and, you know, kind of, it always is just like a disaster. But, you know, hey, it's done. I mean, he's coming, nothing he can say about it. After he leaves, you know, Whitney's just kind of crying to her mom, like, why is he so hateful? Like, why can't he just be happy for me? Like, it's not that he's not happy for you. And I mean, we all want to be happy for you. It's just like the setup, like I'm sure she would agree too, that it would be better. It would have been better if the Frenchman had come to visit her in North Carolina. And, you know, if you hit it off, like just the two of you in those first few days, okay, maybe we can have dinner with my parents one night. And if we're still hitting it off, maybe you can meet a few of my friends at a bar. Like, you know, slowly introduce him to your life, not just like all at once, like, and you haven't even met him. Like, he can show up on this trip and you might not even gel. You might just be like, just kidding. The chemistry is totally off. I don't think so. It's like, and now we're stuck with this strange man, the strange French man for like a week on our vacation. Like, she doesn't think about any of that. It's like the setup. It's like, it's ruinous. It's not like she's consciously ruining this the way Hunter is saying. It's just like this premise. It's not good. Anyway, later on, Tal and Heather go over to help her pack, and she's packing a lot, and they're like, oh, you're really packing a lot here. And she tells them, like, well, yeah, it's because the Frenchman, he's coming. I invited him. And, you know, Tal's face says it all. He's just like, is that a good idea? Like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, it's going to be great. Like, you know, hopefully, you know, I might get lucky, you know, and they're like, are you serious? And she tells him, you know, it's been a long time from like, you're lucky, you two, like, you don't know what it's like to like be single and go without for a long time. Okay, fine. And so Heather's like, so does this mean I have to like pack my good clothes and be on my best behavior and say nothing but good things about you? And Whitney's like, yes, yes, yes. All of those things. Absolutely. Yes. Like, don't ruin this for me. And this is where I realize, because, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Heather is just like, okay, cool. But in her confessional, she said, because, okay, it's all coming back to me now. Okay, let me back up. She tells them they're coming. Tal's making faces. Heather asks if she's got to be on her best behavior. Yes. And then Whitney tells them that when she told Hunter that Hunter like flipped out, freaked out, was all angry, was telling her like, I can't believe you invited the Frenchman. And I told him like, I didn't invite him. He just agreed to come. Well, Whitney, he can't agree to come unless you invite him. It's kind of the way it works. Like, she's not even making sense at this point, trying to defend this decision she's made for everybody. And then, you know, in her confessional, Heather says she can see Hunter's point. She gets it. She would never invite a total stranger she met online and has been talking to meet her for the first time, along with her whole life, family and friends. Nor would she, you know, in the Frenchman's place, like show up to meet somebody and have to like meet all of their friends. Like, yeah, that would be a lot. But, you know, if this is what Whitney wants to do, it seems like she has it all, you know, planned out in her mindset. But why doesn't she tell this to Whitney? This is where I realize, like, Whitney has surrounded herself with yes men who aren't going to question her, who aren't going to tell her no, who aren't going to say anything, who are just kind of give their looks and be like, okay, well, you know, if that's what you want to do, instead of like, I guess Hunter, maybe because he's her brother and can really care less because he'll always be her brother. But I think Whitney's friends, she considers family. And I don't know why they don't speak up, because like Heather, Tell, who's quiet as a bird in the corner, in his confessional shares that, he's concerned about these lip fillers. Like, why is she changing her looks to impress some guy? And now all she can talk about is getting laid. And now all she's going to focus on this trip is the Frenchman, when that's not what it was about. It was really about the friends and the family coming together. And now it's all about the Frenchman. But why doesn't he say that to her? I mean, is it the editing? Maybe it's the editing, but no, I just feel like they let her do whatever she wants to do. And that's why she gets away with all that she gets away with. So it's like, whatever. Heather asks her, so you told your mom, you told Hunter to tell your dad, and she tells him, like, I don't think I want to tell my dad. See that instinct? Why don't you want to tell him? Because he's going to have something to say about it, and he might not like it. And, Heather tells her, though, no, you better tell your dad. Give that man a heads up. Do not surprise him with the Frenchman. Like, let him know. And Whitney, reluctantly is like, all right, I guess I'll tell my dad. So when the dad went to pick up the mom after the fillers is when, Hunter's there, the mom is there, the dad is there. Whitney pulls out the Maine, not the state of Maine, the folder about their vacation. There's stickers, there's pictures. We're going to go here. We're going to do this. I guess it's a family tradition to, put together a folder of their vacation. And then, she lets it drop that. And by the way, Dad, the Frenchman is coming. The dad, like everybody else, is kind of like, oh, really? Okay. But he kind of takes it in stride, and he just wants to know, okay, where's Frenchman going to sleep? And Whitney tells him, well, it's really like none of your business. Might be Daddy's business. I mean, you still are his daughter. I mean, I get you're a grown-ass woman. You're 37 years old. You can do who you want, when you want. You say who, you say when, you say who. I get all that. But with Dad next door, you might have to answer to Dad. Just saying. But she's just like, oh, don't worry about it. It's none of your business. Dad's like, okay, I guess. I mean, like I said, what can he say? It's done. Whitney's gonna do what she does, and he's bought the ticket. He's on his way. It's this train is on the track and it's moving. So you're either all aboard the Whitney train or you jump off here. Anyway, so the next day or maybe a few days later, it's like time to go to the airport. The trip is here. Whitney goes to pick her parents up and Hunter. She has Heather like follow her because she knows there's going to be so many suitcases. They're not all possibly going to fit in her car. So Heather's going to like take the rest. On the way to the airport, she's giddy. She's excited. She's nervous. She's anxious, the anticipation. And the Babs is telling her, like, relax, I think this is going to just turn out magically, it's all going to work out. And Whitney says, yeah, or it's all going to be a disaster and I will have ruined our family trip. And Hunter's like, yeah, pretty much. They get to the airport and all of the, the commotion, the getting the suitcases in the car, and the dad forgot the phone. They had to go back for the phone. Like, it's all of this hullabaloo that she hasn't had a chance to check her phone. So when they get to the airport, she kind of like, sends the parents and Hunter in with the luggage, like, oh, go check in. I'll follow in a second. I just got to check my phone. She hasn't had a chance, like I said. So when she does check her phone, she sees that there's a missed voice note from the Frenchman that I want to get right here. He says that I hope you are doing good. I hope that we can talk later, but I just need to let you know that unfortunately I will not be able to make the trip. I want to let you know it is not personal. This has nothing to do with you. It is not personal at all. So talk to you later. Bye. And she's like stunned. Like, what? I mean, she was ready to meet this guy, and I have to admit, I felt bad for her because, the tears well up in the eyes. They start streaming down, and she's just trying to like wipe it away, like pull herself together, because she's got to walk into this airport in about 20 seconds and be okay, right? This whole episode, she's been like standing up for her man, defending him to Hunter, and he's gonna just like play you like that and not show up. And she's saying, in her confessional, also very emotional, that of course she takes this personal. How can it not be personal? You're not coming because of me, and it's hurtful. I like I said, I felt bad because I've been disappointed, when you're just so excited for something and then it doesn't happen. And especially something like this, like love and meeting up with that person, and then it's just like dashed, and not just dashed, but like on national TV, and everybody telling you this is crazy. And now it's kind of looking like it's crazy. And she's just wondering if, maybe she just is a bad judge of character, and maybe she is. And she's also wondering if like maybe she's just not worth the effort. And of course she's worth the effort, And she just doesn't really need this. And I agree. I would be, at this point, I'd be like, done. I mean, the whole, you know, him needing to take a break and not knowing if he wanted to like kind of pursue this and the backlash. Well, I mean, this doesn't help with the non-backlash French man, just letting you know. Yeah, I just feel like this is too much. Like it's too much. I mean, unless it's something we really don't see. I mean, we only get these bits and pieces on the show of their FaceTimes with him blurred. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we get the scene for next week's trailer. It looks like he's going to show up. He doesn't really show up, does he? Does he? I don't think he does, right? I mean, I'm done with it. Like, I'm over it. I'm over this French guy. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm not invested anymore. So that's it for the episode. How many more do we have left? Because I just feel like it's a whole lot of nothing, you know, like all this for naught. Like, I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'm sorry, was I talking so fast? I feel like I had some coffee because I tried to record this video this morning before work and my brain was just not awake. I just couldn't. So I was like, okay, I'll do this after work. But I had a really long day at work and I was like, let me just have a little coffee. And I feel like I'm on one right now. But sorry, I'm rambling. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time for episode 10. The trip is here. All right. Bye, guys.